beautiful 100-degree day and we can enjoy ourselves as we are outside at the Hooters car show. Whew, it's hot. Too many Volvos, not enough wagon. Oh boy. Here at my local Volvo shop, favorite independent one, Master's Touch, and I'm looking for a new car. No, not this hunk of junk. I'm looking at this XC hunk of junk. Soren's got a good deal in it. He picked it up for a fair price. We did a couple of repairs and we're gonna see what it will take to make it a daily. Which certainly sounds good. Common bumper pop. Tan lines. Not as filthy as I expected, but still pretty ugly. It's got a nice gas smell under here. Okay, this is the beginning of our road test on a brand new, to me, XC70. Let's make sure we got no messages there. Let's, it doesn't have the scrolly wheel for all the fanciness. I really wanted the fuel economy bit. Maybe I can add that, we'll see. It's got cruise control. I don't think the radio control will work here because there's an aftermarket radio there. Hopefully I got AC. Please, baby, give me some AC here. Yes, sir. Okay, instrument cluster's held in by 1 out of 4. That's good enough. AC is good, nice and cool. Seats are comfy. It's a little lopsided. Whoever sat here was big and tore it up. I like the door panels. Headliner, same as all the rest of them, needs to be rebuilt. I'll make a video on that. Let's just adjust our seat here. The door handle is wonky and most likely doesn't work. I'll fix that. Lots of cool stuff I could fix on this car. It's not so bad, and it's also sad that a lot of these end up at the junkyard. It seems like there's a time and place where it's good to own a certain kind of car. For example, a 240 3 years ago, where they were all over the junkyard, now they're starting to dwindle, and there's a lot of 7 and 9 series that followed, and now we're at the point where you get a few less per year. Certainly not as many of the old flat hoods, the coupes, things like that. The XC90s, the early V70s, more C70s than there were a few years ago there, and S60s have just always been there all the time. I mean S80s. S60s more often than not too. So the S80s, it was just the T6 and the NAs as well, lots of problems. Of course, occasionally you'll find a wrecked car, and that's a good one to pull parts off of. I really love this interior. So anyways, my point, I digress. My point being that now is a good time to own an XC70 from the P2 generation, which is 2001 to 2000, and I don't know when they went to P1, probably 2007, 2008, and yeah, 07, I think. Because right now you can get parts from junkyards, because people are giving up on them. I mean, look at it, it's hit 214,000 miles there. That's a lot. So, it's good, and I really want that information cluster. I need to have it. I need to know my fuel economy. All right, we're gonna go out for a drive. Apparently the brakes have a big shimmy. The transmission cooler lines are leaking. It's just kind of an oily mess under the hood. But I love it already. We're gonna do a 0 to 60 kilometer pull. That's 40 miles an hour. Oh man, 38 miles an hour. Okay, you ready for this? Here we go. definitely got a crunchy wheel bearing in the rear. Sounds like the driver's side. Thomas told me that. So what else? The brakes need to be done in the front. A strut mount. There's no drive shaft because the center carrier bearing was given up on, and a $500 drive shaft from the dealer is not an option. However, the junkyard's got plenty of drive shafts, let me tell you. Otherwise, it's comfy. I sit pretty high in the seat, and it's quiet, minus the falling apart noises. And you know what, the most important thing about this car is that I feel safe in it, and I like feeling safe. Especially, you know, when I was 18, I wrecked my car. I just went straight into an SUV. I was going maybe 40 miles an hour. They were turning, so it's a good thing they weren't going 40 miles an hour either, or else I might not be here to tell you that story. And I was driving a Mitsubishi Eclipse, and it smushed. It smushed really easily. That would be like two cars going 20 miles an hour at each other, and it smushed really easily. So I was kind of terrified of driving after that. It was right after my 18th birthday, I think, and I wanted something safe, so naturally it was a Volvo. You might be wondering, what am I going to do with that 240? Somebody commented today on one of my videos and said, you know, your videos are really making me want to get a 240, but that is something about it would be a financially terrible decision. I have to not disagree completely. As much as I love the 240 series, I know that they're old and a lot of them are unmaintained. And so now that I've maintained one, I'm thinking it's at its prime. I'm gonna fix the air conditioning. I'm going to fix the odometer. I've got the gear. I just finally found it because when we were moving around, it was hard to find and keep track of everything. And I'm gonna let it go for a good price. It's gonna be a beautiful car. I might even keep the E-codes on there. However, if I find a nice set of headlights, I might just swap them out. Somebody will like that. And I can put the E-codes on my other 240. You know, I've got that 242, the Fox. It's just sitting around. So, I love those cars. But as a daily, I already have an old, non-air conditioned, hot, Swedish hunk of metal, and that's Arthur, and I love him. And as much as I love the 240 style, like I said, I've got that 242, that's the project car. I've got to sell one or the other, and let me tell you, it will be really hard to sell a car full of rat poop and half of a build completed. Because it's got the engine, it's got the wiring harness, it just doesn't have a drive shaft installed, doesn't have an interior. So anyways, long story short, it's time for a change. And this is a really comfy, cheap car. I'm gonna get it for a couple $100 bucks. I'm very happy with that, so I will continue driving this until I get tired of it. I'm gonna give it some speed here, see how it does at a higher speed. I worry about one of the wheels falling off or something because it seems a little clunky at the moment. But she's still going solid. Man, that wheel bearing. I don't know if you can hear it. It probably just sounds like, ooh. That's what it's doing right now. Fair amount of sway, you know, for being so tall. Bradley's S60 cross country. I love that car. Just saying it makes me giggle. It has the XC70 struts and springs. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull a set of struts from an XC90 at the junkyard, take the axles, put everything in here, and I'll have a lifted cross country. Pretty straightforward. Now the axles are because of that extra angle. It needs new strut tops on here anyways, so I don't really want to have to bother with that. And it also needs just, you know, hub assemblies, things like that. I might just take the hubs from, that might be too much money, but I might take the hubs from the cross country that's at the junkyard now. And I do need to get a drive shaft for this to make it all-wheel drive again. That is upon inspection of the angle gear. Now the angle gear is kind of tricky. It's supposed to have as much play as any differential. You don't want it to be too much, or that's how you know you've got an issue with it. And of course regular maintenance goes a long way with those. A lot of it is just the bad design. I'm not an engineer, but I can tell you I've seen some photos and some fixes that have involved drilling holes, welding plugs, welding the races on the bearings, things like that to keep them from coming out. But Thomas told me that it was the center carrier on the differential that is the reason why this one was pulled out, and now it's a front-wheel drive XC. So I'm not going to get any hills here in the city. You know, I could hold off on that for a little bit, but I'd still like to know if I have the option to put that in there, as well as that driver information module I need to know my fuel economy. Cool. I'm gonna go wave at this C7 and C30 here. Hi. Nobody looks twice at a cross country. There's just so many of them. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the channel so far. I've been making a lot of small video updates here and there, and this is the start of another project, essentially. I guess while I'm at it, I'll tell you, Shelby 2, still waiting for Soren to do something with that. We've been flipping other cars in the meantime. I've got a 99 cross country in the garage that's got a weird misfire issue. There's that XC that I picked up. And it seems like every year I hit a mark where I sell the car that I've been driving and then get another old Volvo and restore it. I'm trying to work towards a newer car though. Ideally, I will take as many Volvos as I can get, really. But I need to limit myself, especially now that I'm getting older and I'm starting to get more career focused and spending less time just wrenching away every day. And now that I work a lot too. So, the 1 year mark has come for Otis, which is that 93 245. It's a good car. It's clean. I'm going to put the air conditioning hose back in. I'm going to make sure the AC works and get it sold, basically. Just like with Carol, the older 240 wagon from 1984. That one definitely was a lot better than when I picked it up, but it was still kind of a rough car either way. And I'm going to be driving this 2001 cross country. I know a lot of you guys are like, hey, don't buy a cross country. Those are the worst years, 2001 to 2003. And I know, they are. This one's got 214,000 miles. A car doesn't just barely get there. It gets there, meaning it's had some work done. By this point, you know, of course, having no drive shaft and having a working transmission, that's a big deal. Of course, there's going to be a lot of money that needs to be put into it. In addition to that, it will be cheaper and more comfortable than the 240, and I know there's a lot of disagreements on that. However, there are some big jobs on that 240 that I don't feel like getting into, the rear main seal being one of them, and just the fact that it has a really lousy automatic transmission. That's just the way it came from the factory. There's nothing you can do about it, really. I would love to have a 5-speed in it, but I just can't live with the automatic, and I can't live without a turbo. It makes me sound kind of stingy to say that, but once you have it, you can't go back. So that's where we're at right now. Also, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I wouldn't really be doing this if I didn't have an audience, and you guys have been great. Please comment below. Let's keep discussion going on all the issues. Tell me some problems you've had with your P2 chassis cars. You know, this is the third one that's in the family, so I'm definitely familiar with some of the problems they've had. And another big shout out goes to the classic Volvo Rescue mod Facebook group. These guys are very useful. I'm in there looking at posts and posting once in a while. Really cool stuff. John's the guy who runs it, and he's a great guy. He sent me a very, very useful part that will hopefully be on Arthur soon, and when I get around to making that video, I'll talk more about it. So in the meantime, go to Facebook, check out that page. It's really awesome. And I should probably get back to work because I can only hide in the corner for so long before they notice. Alright, thank you again.